Let me go over to Steve Patterson. And Steve, you may not realize this today, but you were in a time machine, because what you saw today is the way candidates used to announce for the presidency in their hometowns, with their supporters, in their home states, talking about who they are and what they may be for, rather than talking about what they think everybody on cable television was about. Tell me about it, because it was a throwback for me.
Yeah, it certainly was a throwback. Look, I'm from suburban Detroit, Automation Alley, Michigan. Our fathers were engineers for Ford and GM and Chrysler. And so if I was talking to one of my friends, I would say that this is the conservative that our fathers knew, somebody that is, you know, focused on big business and low government and low taxes and policy-minded, focused solely on the issues, and that is certainly what Burgum pertains to be. There was mention of the president, but not in any sort of social way, focused solely attacking his policies. No mention of social issues. You didn't hear anything about woke or books. You didn't hear anything about DeSantis or Trump. Almost no mention of opponents, because he wants to stick to those policy issues. Now, that's not to say that he hasn't signed off on certain social issues. Of course, recently signing legislation that makes it one of the hardest states in the country to get an abortion, to be transgender, certainly banning some of the rights that transgender folks have in the state. But as far as mentioning any of that in his campaign speech or throughout the campaign, as expected, he's not going to do that, and he's not going to attack his opponents. So it's suffice to say, it would be interesting to see whether or not this strategy works, right, Chuck?
Well, I have to ask you this, Steve. You know, if he hadn't held office right now, I might want to dismiss this as a vanity project, a la Vivek Ramaswamy, who has his own money and it's decided, hey, why not? I'm going to buy my way on the stage here. Now, he's a multimillionaire, Doug Burgum is. He had some success in the tech community here. Is this a vanity project, or does he have a theory of the case here?
He truly believes that in being an alternative to the rhetoric that we hear from the Republican Party in modern times, that there is this silent majority of Republicans that is out there, that is waiting for a champion to believe in and to vote for, and that he can stoke that, even as a relative unknown, polling at something about 1% or so, that just by putting this message out here and saying you have an alternative at home, that he can make some headway, Chuck.
All right, Steve Patterson in Fargo. Steve, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.